Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful and amazing people. Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. And I had to mute Twitch because I had it on from watching the other night and just heard my own voice in my head way too late. That was interesting. Anyway, these wonderful people have agreed to join me playing a increasingly silly game, as you will see very, very shortly. But we're going to get to them in just 1 second because we are using Roll20 as our virtual tabletop of choice. We have used for most of the art tonight Hero Forge and their wonderful token making subset of skills that you can use over there. You really should pop over. And oh, by the way, if you do, use the link below here. I can't get you a deal, but this way, if you pay full price, I get some. It's kind of creepy, but in return, I promise to leave that as Hero Forge credit. And when that gets to $100, I'm going to get a brass gi made. So if you're going to order them anyway, I can't get you a deal, but I can eventually show you a brass gi. Please don't take that out of context. So that's Hero Forge, except I also want to mention, this is one of the reasons I mentioned the art tonight. One of our arts is different. One of these arts is not the same. There, I got my Sesame Street reference in there. Because one of these arts was done by a family member of one of tonight's performers. Leah, would you be so kind as to give artistic credit up to the level with which you are comfortable?
Yes. My daughter did the art, and she does all her art under the name Dunley-Well.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, thank you. I love it. I also love it when people come to my games and go, "Here's the art. Like, here's more." Just thank you. Wonderful, and thank you to the artist. The style is charming. I love it. It fits with this sort of mad space opera really, really well. I think tonight's game might be a little swearier than that token sort of intimates, but other than that, and it's yeah, Blaze of Gloriosa. I agree, it's spectacular. Gronk looks blonder than you recall, apparently. Gronk found out he was going to be on TV. That's what happened there.
The hair implants in there.
Anyway, let's get to these people because here we are. We've already talked about one of them and one of them, so let's start with the other one because sure. Lesumax, thank you for joining us. Just before we talk about what else you're doing, you and I have what can only be described now as a history. It's been almost 2 years, I think, since the first time we played together in various games since and around the Mercs of Mischief and since.
Give or take. Maybe a
So
little longer,
yeah,
maybe less.
you're in a very unique way. You're one of the original parts of Dirty 20. So thank you for hanging around this long. But where else can we find you? What else are you doing?
I do a lot of amateur modeling and cosplaying, so you can find that on my Instagram, Nobody Lucimix, which I'll send a link, as well as on Twitter, which I just started. Isn't as popular, but hey, you know what? Just add me, say hi, you know. So
Build a legitimate audience. Those are the ones that stay.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, pop up those links, and we shall shimmy seamlessly. Leah, we talked to you a little while ago. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for coming back over and over and over again. I assume that means you must be having fun. So thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And other than being a parental unit to a talented artist, what else do you do? Where else can we find you? Or not?
Um, I I just really play for fun. And you'll find me here on occasional Friday.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Which brings us around to our new to this game and still relatively new to the channel, I guess, comparatively speaking. I practiced the wrong name for a week, but it is, of course, na 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 Bat Kyle. Thank you. Where else can we find you?
Well, I mod in a lot of channels, but I don't stream. I don't cosplay, I really I'm just very much a background character, but very often you can find me hanging out in and being the peanut gallery for my lovely significant other, Blaze of Gloriosa. She's streaming on Mondays currently, and of course, whenever she gets the chance, she joins the game here now. I am at the Bat Kyle on Twitter. If you want to add me, Lord knows why you'd want to. I really just post the occasional meme and share things my friends do. And that's about it.
That's using Twitter correctly. That's it was social network. Those are social things, and you were networking with people. Ta-da! I just wanted to say one thing before I let you go, though. You looked right into your camera and said, "I don't cosplay," while wearing a white laboratory coat, and a stethoscope.
I didn't come here to be called out.
This is a service we provide for free. No, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, yes. Hello, audience. Hello, Kalina. Hello, everybody. You notice I gave a little more space to chat tonight so you guys can see a little more of the history happening over there. But that's the people.
And just
Yes.
Raz and Gronk aren't. Leah's sitting as Gronk right now
Oh, dear.
on the overlay.
One brief moment. Watch me fix this. Bam. Fixed. In a moment. Yeah.
Fixed. Perfect. Thank you.
Zoom trick. Okay. All right. With that, let's do this. And we are back. The three of you are sitting on the couch, watching the holovision across the room, when you find out about a massive 9.2 earthquake deep in the heart of Yellowstone National Park. You think, because this might be such a heroic or a defining moment in history, to look at the clock. It's 11:42 p.m. Wednesday. It's not the supervolcano. It's not that big, but 9.2 and particularly long duration. And then the weirdness starts. A blackout spreads in a circle radially, which is not how power grids work, centered on Yellowstone. It doesn't stop until it hits the borders of North America. It goes down through the neck and into South America, and soon the entire double continent is black. You look at the clock again. It's only 42 seconds after midnight on Thursday. The rest of the planet takes a split second longer, and then the entire world, for just a moment, is devoid of artificial light. Not even the battery has a charge left in it. But then it starts to creep back. Just enough power for living an electronics-based life circa the 33rd century is doled out as needed on a case-by-case basis somehow. By 8:23 in the morning, so you've been watching all night as this constant update, the damage ring and everything else. 8:23 in the morning, a series of electromagnetic pulses radiate out from Yellowstone, enough to get a rough central location. And that's when, probably not surprisingly, your phones ring. All of your phones ring.
Gronk, pick up Holly's AI orb. Hello?
Gronk, as you do so, the cameras... the camera zooms in front of you. And what do we see? What does Gronk sitting on a couch in their home look like?
Gronk is a big old Grunka. Maybe a little more turtle-like than the standard Grunkas, but huge, wide shoulders, kind of leathery skin, definitely fake hair. He's got a whole head of hair that's not real. Holly has to kind of rub a glue stick on and then make sure it stays in place every day because doctors have hair. This is a thing that TV shows you. So besides that, he's pretty much always in a lab coat of often dubious cleanliness. And he's got some slacks on, some shoes, just a belt, some goggles, and just kind of relaxing at the moment, trying to take a call on his AI wife and assistant.
Yes. Your AI wife and assistant wriggles out of your grasp and hands you the actual phone. As they do so, what do we see from Holly?
We see this bright neon bomb show babe, think 80s glam, right? With all neon and stuff, with fiery red and pink hair, and the neon kind of suit, and wears this just a pink and white kind of coat. So
Yep. Gotcha.
But often will sometimes gender bend to male to female depending on the patient or whatever Gronk wants. So
Oh, speaking of which, your token is actually a rotating of the 2 tokens you sent me.
Yeah.
So yes, your token is changing gender about every 8 seconds. So,
very gender fluid.
Yeah. And then I think also at the other end of the couch at this point, you were just waiting for your phone to ring. You look over there, it's like, okay, how many times? At least it wasn't the iron this time, right? And you and you reach for your phone, and what do we see, Raz, when that happens?
Raz is kind of a lizard, snaky person.
Mm-hmm.
She's very neat. All her clothes are perfect. Every medallion is well polished and shined. She doesn't go anywhere without her little side pistol. She's just that, and she has her lucky coin that she is always flipping in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And she, for some reason, likes the chaos, so she hangs out with Grunk and Holly all the time.
And so,
Yes.
as you look down, the 3 of you, what it's on the screen, all it says is one word. It says roof.
And
why am dog texting us?
Who's Ruth?
Come on, we got a job. Let's go.
Does dog hire us for a job? I'm not working on dogs.
Start hurting them, and thus, it starts well, and thus it is that the doctor who isn't really a doctor, the nurse who isn't really a nurse, and the trader who is definitely more than just a trader, otherwise known as Team Plausible Deniability, head for the roof and the ornithopter to take them to the office. As you climb into the egg-shaped near sphere, flickering lights around it, surrounded in a ball of rainbows, and whisks you across the sky. Moments later, letting you out onto the dodecahedron. If the Pentagon was good, then it's got to be better. So you go to the dodecahedron of national security, whereupon you're whisked downstairs. And while you're in the waiting room, before you can even be introduced to this week's boss, you see on the TV screen reports of explosions in geosynchronous orbit, damaging many satellites. At almost the same time, a huge, the largest ever iceberg breaks off of the Antarctic ice shelf and starts moving against the current. And 2 geysers in Yellowstone steam themselves empty and dry. And as the drones sent in to look and see what's left show the melted remains of 2 Xenotech gun emplacements. Xenotech being synonymous with alien, for those that don't know the terminology of this wonderful game, Tiny Frontiers Revised. Your boss, prestidigitating cauliflower. They're every week they get a new title. It's a random verb and a random noun. So prestidigitating cauliflower, their voice comes through the intercom. You know where you're going. Get back into transportation. There was really no point for you to get down here. You lift off now. Go. Click. Oh, were there any questions? No? Good. Click.
President Colley, not nice.
Yes, our boss really needs to work on his social skills. Come on.
Holly grabs the med like the med kits and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
they're cyber heels with like a perfect strut, and well, of course they're wearing heels and they look perfect because they're
Yeah.
holograms. So
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
impractical as they look, they're just walking
Yeah.
right into the med kit.
I think you may have discovered the secret to fashion. You just have to be holographic.
Yes.
Picture perfect, darling. That's the secret.
I would be holographic in Crocs. There's no saving me.
just sort of a blurred humanoid shape that says we'll get to later.
Project still still.
So, with that, what do you do? Back to the roof?
I check my pistol
Yep.
to make sure it's got a full charge. I make sure I have my lucky coin.
Yep.
And then I turn and look at my 2 companions and go, yeah, I guess we're off.
Time to go to work.
And the 3 back in the elevator, back up to the roof because this was really pointless, and get back into Whirlybird and off over the horizon towards Yellowstone National Park. After you leave in the apparently empty office, the voice comes through the speakers again. That was really mean, that stuff they said about me. Like, I mean, of course I can hear what's going on in the room. Well, that's just rude. Meanwhile, hurtling towards Yellowstone National Park, the 3 of you follow the source, the map, down on top of the electromagnetic pulse source, landing a short distance away. The door pops open. You step out. The door slams shut behind you. They're gone. Like so fast you're pelted with tiny bits of dust and debris. The ship is gone. What? I know I talked for a while, but I'm done for a while now. What do you do?
Anybody look like they need surgery? That would Gronk do.
Anybody that needs medical assistance?
You guys are looking around. Yeah.
I'm going to look around to see if there's any signs that say this way to the geysers or something.
Well, you can see, actually, let's make our first roll of the night. Why not? Give me just a test, because looking around is something that, you're probably neither expert nor really bad at. Remember to open both eyes and focus. So, yeah, everybody give me one. He said, covering the fact that the first one was a fail. There's a success. Gronk see things. It's going to be so hard not to talk to Gronk in Gronk. That is going to be a very difficult challenge. Holly, let's have a roll. Just 2 dice where it says test on your character sheet.
Right. Okay. this all open.
Anyway,
guys-
we'll start with what Gronk sees. You guys are all looking around. It's because you're taller, right? There we go. Yeah. You reach up. Your hair is caught in the wind, and you reach up to make sure it not fall off again. Yeah. And as you stand up extra tall, you sort of see over this little hillock in front of you, and you can see. There's one of those melted gun things from the satellite image. But it's surrounded by tiny, tiny, tiny people. I mean, it is very far away. Maybe they are regular-sized people, but they're very far away. A couple 100 meters. That was 2d4. That just guaranteed you weren't going to succeed. You need to roll 5s and 6s.
Wrong one.
If you open up your character sheet, top right-hand corner of it,
Right. Top right-hand corner.
it says rolls, and it's disadvantage, test, and advantage.
Oh, okay.
Just click the one that said test.
My bad.
There you go. So you think Gronk is staring off into space, and you're just about to berate him. And as you turn to do so, you may still choose to do so, but you see that they are, in fact, looking at a thing. And you see, several 100 meters away, there's one of these exploded guns, or these old melted guns, surrounded by soldiers. These are armor-wearing figures swarming around it.
I'll just take Gronk's chin and just point his head in the right direction.
You know, he's the one that saw it first.
Oh, never mind that.
And then you were, like I said, you were about to give him grief for staring off into space, and it turns out he wasn't. He was seeing something. So,
Gronk gonna pick Raz up, and so Raz can see too. Just way up high.
Yeah, Raz, you were looking the other way.
Tiny people. Melted gun.
Yes, thank you. You can put me down now. Let's go see what they've discovered.
You don't see that every day, do you?
Well, I can understand why you didn't see it, because you're in Yellowstone. There's geysers and bubbling pots of colored mud and steam and the occasional upended spaceship and, stuff
Yes.
all over the place. But as you get a little closer, you can see that while they are dressed as soldiers and they've all got soldierly weapons, they've all got rifles and pistols and all that good stuff, they are trying to break pieces off of the of this melted gun. And now anybody who has Xenotech can make this roll at advantage, but to try and figure out what they're doing. And while you're doing that, what else are you doing? And
Yeah. I am going to try and figure out why they're breaking up the gun.
perfect. And Gronk?
They am not supposed to take souvenirs from park. Gronk's gonna look around for a park ranger.
Yeah. Okay. Looking for a
And
ranger.
Holly will tag behind.
Just waiting to see. This isn't even an odd start. Like, this is okay. He's looking for a ranger. That's relatively harmless. Gotcha.
Yes.
So so I just need a from Gronk. And because you were give this to me with advantage, because you're right. There should be a ranger here. Therefore, there's a much higher chance that there is one, story-wise. And there is one. He's way over there chasing away two bears, one tall one and one short one, stealing a picnic basket. But he is right over there.
Is one of them named Boo Boo?
You can't tell. They always get away.
No, Gronk's not gonna bother park ranger. Bears not eat people food. Very bad for bears to eat people food. Diabetes is very bad problem.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I love that.
I swear to God, if these bears are the bears from Honey Heist, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Not yet. We got to get more bears. The first two are a borderline copyright infringement. The rest of them can be ours. Yes. that was such a wonderful series of bad puns and horrible things, and turning down an easy help that I am going to give at this point Gronk one more move, one more thing. What would you like to do?
Gronk just gonna go over. Just gonna walk right
I
up
guess.
to tiny peoples.
And
Folly will follow.
some ass in editing in this movie overlays a sheriff's badge on you as you start walking towards them.
Poke a helmet. Hey, no.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. I'm giving you all the way up to contact. Holly, you've seen this before. This almost always works. You just follow him right up to 10 soldiers swarming over this melting gun. What what happens in with Holly over that sort of 15, 16 seconds?
Thinks about and says to Grog, reminds me of our honeymoon.
And I assume because there is some element of self-preservation slightly behind that, Raz, how do you bring up the rear of this?
Well, after seeing the soldiers dismantling this thing and seeing,
Oh, I owe you the result of a roll before that.
Okay.
Because you wanted to find out why they were tearing it apart.
Yes.
They are trying to understand it. They are trying to... It doesn't look like they're trying to put it back together, but it looks like they're trying to destructively understand it. Destructive engineering, destructive reconstruction, something along those lines. It's not working, but they're trying.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you one more thing with that. All three of you, because you're right on top of them, they're moving like they're not smooth. Guard robots, especially. Nobody puts clunky guard robots. These things should be fluid and like killer robot mode. But they're not. They're all very jerky. They only move 2 or 3 at a time, and they have to often reposition their hands to try and break things off. There's something odd.
No.
Yep. I see a questioning hand. Or
I
are you
know.
just
I'd
waving?
like to. Well, I'd like to know like who sent these soldiers or who these soldiers are.
Give me just a regular test to see if you can see. Well, you see a logo, but give me a regular test to see if you recognize it. Nope. No clue. Perfect. So there's a weird sort
That's
of there's a weird sort of moon and a cloud and an earth all in one together as a logo. That's you see that, but you don't know what it means.
Well, after seeing Gronk just march right on up to him and start poking them,
Just about to touch them. Yeah, what do you do?
just about to touch them. I'm going to walk up to one of the herky-jerky robots and
No regrets. It's a one shot. No regrets.
I know, and I'm going to kind of just push it out of the way so I
Okay.
can remove the piece.
So you time the motion. I'll give you guys this action together. Oh wow. Okay, Holly. The camera pans around behind you and sort of does that over the shoulder, sort of first person, third person thing, almost like cop cam. As at exactly the same moment, Gronk tap tap tap, and at the same moment, Raz just walks up and goes and pulls one off the side of the machine. The one spinning on Gronk suddenly can kind of starts to move like a robot, like a guard robot again, and starts coming around. At this point, they finally know you're here. But they are definitely surprised. You're gonna get one complete surprise round. But Gronk, this one's right in your arms. It means you harm. All of a sudden, just to be perfectly clear.
Gronk going to pick that one up and club robot next to it
Perfect. Okay.
with that one.
Yep. I saw you use 2 hands to do that. Is
Yes.
that okay? So that let me guess. You are proficient with heavy melee weapons.
Light melee.
Light melee. Okay, use one hand.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Grunk can pick it up by.
That's the only difference. Yeah.
Pick it up.
Oh no! Think big. Welcome to Dirty 20 Gaming. One hand,
Oh.
pick up the whole robot. They're light. They're hollow. It's mostly
Yeah, no,
titanium
pick
and
up
wires.
my helm and just
Yeah,
swing it
by
around his
helm. I
head.
thought you said just the helm. Yeah. You
No,
just
no, pick
grab
up
it
my
by
helm
the
and just.
head. Yes. Beautiful. There we go. Now we are at the correct scale. So
Turn it up to 11.
give him a give me a roll with advantage. Holy extra poop darts.
Smash!
Oh, this is beautiful because I get to talk about our house rule, which is anytime there's 2 d6s in a roll, it's a crit, it does extra damage. But there's also an informal house rule, which is in the game, the number of times you succeed doesn't technically matter unless it's 2 6s. But I like to use all the successes because I like to celebrate outrageous rolls like this. You said swooshy swooshy. That's 2. That's another. That's got to be more than the 3. I'm going to give those 2 each. So 2, 4, 5. Yep. The one you pick up, you get a good grip, right? And there's kind of a popping sensation as you do, and then it stops struggling, which makes it easier to get a grip. And then you just it's a flail. It's a titanium flail, and you just walk into the middle of it. You just hear. Everybody just hears for a second as you go around a couple of times, and when the dust clears and you drop the first one, 5 of the ones, including the one that you popped, you just let that one go, and that's just the final sort of titanium thunk against the dirt. The other 5 turn towards you, and one of them looks at the other one and goes, "I don't think we're going to get a turn." Holly, go.
Okay.
That is an intro.
Oh, we're fighting. All right. It's just it dawns on her. It's like, we're doing this again. I forgot to give you your medication, didn't I, Gronk? Okay.
Plausible deniability. The team. What do you do? Yeah.
So
yes, it's fair to
seeing
say
that a
we're
robot
fighting.
was about to like harm my husband,
Yes.
it's like
By exploding all over him. Yes.
I get my hand out and start like charging a beam. It's like, now my program usually says that I should do no harm, but for you I'll make an exception, and does a blast.
So you went like that. So I know where it comes from. Out of the palm, right?
Yeah.
What does it look like? This is the first time we've seen it.
At first it looks like a little pink healing cross, like the medical cross, like usually they're red, but it's pink. And as it blasts, it's like hearts. And as it gets shot, it goes, wow! And then just
And then it hits you and kills you like shit. All right, roll
there's
on.
hearts.
That's your psionic ability, yes?
Yes, it's my blast ability.
All right. So how does that work? You roll a test, or you can roll. What is
Test deals 1 damage at range. This
Okay.
test is subjected to all rules of an attack.
Blah.
You may test with disadvantage to deal 2 damage.
That's the one the part I
instead.
wanted. So, 2 dice or 1. You need to roll a 5 or a 6.
Let's make it a 6. Make it interesting.
Oh
So
no,
I will roll
you still need a 5 or a 6. But are you rolling 2 dice or 1?
1. So
1.
disadvantage.
Okay, so disadvantage. Here you go.
Probably.
Oh. Because you see, a critical fail happens when all the dice rolled, all one of them, rolls 1. So what? Oh dear.
Gronk
no.
feel like Gronk getting love beam in back of skull.
No. We're gonna make it much more localized than that. Holly, you go like this, and you forgot that one of your rings is kind of reflective, and it's got this sort of part, this chain that sort of hangs down, and it bounced off of that, and you shot yourself in the palm. It's kind of like damage, and there's the and suddenly you're in your gender is bent, and then bam, it's back the other way. It's just like twice. It's just Yeah, you take no actual damage, but you just did a double transformation in front of us, and back where you were, doing absolutely no damage to anybody, including yourself. The final surprise attack, at least one of them was successful. Yeah, but the other one was funny. Shut up. Bringing
It was pretty.
the last of the surprise attacks. Raz, what are you doing?
Yes. Since I've pushed that one out of the way,
Yes.
I'm going to pull my pistol
Yeah.
and see that they're going after my good friends. I am
Yes.
going to shoot them with my blaster.
Okay. You have 2 actions per round, so you can shoot them twice or focus and shoot them once, but hit on a 4, 5, or 6 instead of a 5 or a 6.
I am going to focus at the one that's closest to Gronk.
There's kind of a hollow space. He's kind of he's the center of a void
Okay.
of lack of robots.
Well, then whoever's closest to any of us.
They're charging towards you, so they're coming at you.
Yeah,
Well, actually,
that's
the
fine.
closest one to you is at your feet. 'Cause you just
I'm gonna
hurled them to
skip
the
him.
ground. Okay, and the other ones are
knocked.
right around you. So yeah, okay, go
Yeah.
ahead and shoot. We'll figure out who you
So
shoot
I
if you hit.
Do I hit my focus or just the marksman?
Yeah, if you click the box, it says focus, and then when you hit the shot, which is with advantage, you'll hit. Well, here's the thing, because you're shooting with advantage anyways. Before you decide whether you're going to focus, so you get to roll 3 dice, rolling any 5 or 6 hits. So shooting twice, you would be rolling 3 dice both times and 5 or 6 hits. If you focused and shot, you'd only be rolling once, and a 4, 5, or 6 would hit, but it's still 3 dice. So math.
I love it. So do I hit? I have check off marksman and focus,
Yes.
Or-
Oh yeah. If you really want, yeah, do the deal. You have both.
and then
Yeah.
just test or advantage.
At that point, yeah, give it to me with advantage too. Yep. Oh, yeah.
3,
yeah.
4, 5, 6.
You. we're going to represent all of that. Just went through that. You kind of you pull your pistol out, and for just a moment, we look vaguely incompetent as we kind of. How does that setting go? Oh, this is they did the update. I got to wait till the wheel finishes. Okay, the update's done. Click, click, bam, and you just unload downrange. We're using the same math as we did before. 6 counts for 2. That's 2, 3, yeah, 4 more.
And it's my dancing void blaster. So a
And what does
disco
that
ball
look
pops
like?
out.
Oh, each shot looks like a little tiny disco ball flying through the air.
Yes, and it's
Oh,
got music playing.
Can I add they each look like a comet with little sparkles behind them?
Of course.
Yeah, and yes, disco. Nah, staying alive, not a chance, not a chance. 4 shots go flying into them, and it's just bam, 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 bam. Each one hits. Everybody knows how dangerous the disco balls are when they explode. It's just it's like shrapnel. It's hideous. There's nothing left. The only one left alive is the one at your feet looking up at you. There's take it. Like a robot shows true fear. Just take it. Just let me go. I'm showing sentience for the first time. Look, I'm scared. Let me go. The 3 of you have a chance to do something. What do you do?
I'm.
Drunk?
It's all Gronk's turn because I'm going for the big gun.
Gronk have never performed surgery on robot before. Gronk's gonna pull his chainsword named Scalpel.
Yeah.
Before he does that, I'm just gonna go. Say
So yes, surgery on the living, is that what we're after, or are you using one of the many robot cadavers that are about the place?
Whichever the robot on the floor that begged for life.
Oh,
is
good.
getting-
Okay, yeah, I wanted to be sure. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for a moment, it's like Aisha. He looks up at you, Raz, and says, "Oh, no!" Looks up at you, Holly. And says, "Oh, run! Oh, I see what you mean." And then, yeah. Yes.
I know my
What do-
husband's surgery.
Wait. Yeah, you don't have xenotech in any way, shape, or form, right, Grunk? Perfect.
Ugh.
Perfect. That little symbol I described before, the moon and the clouds and the earth, you look at it and you had an uncle, brother, cousin thing, like relation. That's the word that they use, relation, that showed you this. It's that weird word that starts with an X, but it sounds like it starts with another letter. Xenotech, that's the one. It's alien.
This is a xylophone.
And that's all you guys get.
I look over and says, "No, Xenotech," and just keep going for
As
the big gun.
Yes, yes. Give me a Xenotech roll. I want a roll with advantage.
That and what Grunk said.
Yes, yes.
Raz not doing well.
Wow.
I not do well.
Maybe this is the trick. Yeah.
The Gronk express.
It spreads.
Okay. Yeah, Raz, you start pulling and hauling and trying to pull this plate off this melted machine. And you quickly realize that it's not coming off. You're not going to be able to get inside this. And so you start looking instead. It's definitely Xenotech. But with that roll, not much more than that. It's really melted. It heat melted. Yes.
Gronk is going to use one of his uses of AI assistant to look at Holly and go, Holly, can Google weird insignia? Space Google?
You know I hate it when you do this.
Holly,
Oh yeah, sorry,
does-
sorry, did it wrong. Hey Holly, what this symbol?
yes, you have to put it in the correct format or it doesn't start. And Holly, yes, I understand why you hate this, because every time Gronk uses this particular command phrase, you are beholden, you are commanded, you must, and in fact you feel your will being forced out of the way ever so slightly as you are forced to process it and spew out the answer. Which
I'm not just his hologram wife, I am his computer wife, just like from SpongeBob. With Plankton and his computer wife. Oh my god.
And the answer is, in past legend, past myth, past history, past believability, there was a war here. Humans had nothing to do with it. There wasn't even plankton here yet. But as a result, and like every time there's a war, stuff gets left behind. And one of those stuffs was an AI. And it had a symbol. That's a lot of reconstruction to get to that, because like that symbol was a cave painting found and aged. It breaks all the rules of time and when we thought people were painting in caves, and on and on and on. Pre-Egyptian, like I said, pre-plankton. But somehow, because you used that ability, it came up. I love it.
I feel like as you do that, eyes just go white, a mouth just opens,
Yep.
and this little speaker comes out just saying what you just
A
said.
different voice. Yeah, a different voice. That sort of weird, almost recorded sounding voice. And then when it's over, you come back.
Does it seem like guns fired? That why this all turned to steam and went dry, or been this way long time?
This, I'm going to give you this because it's a very good question. They overheated while they were getting ready to fire. It's like if you've ever seen the lithium-ion battery overcharged. They just, super hot, super fast, big flame, lots of melty, and it melted the gun that it's charged. Somebody tried to fire this thing up, and it melted down instead.
So, Gronk only one thinks he knows what happened? Raz, you have idea? Gronk's idea is usually wrong. Sometimes explode, often bloody.
In the most spectacular way, might I add.
It's good to be appreciated.
Love at first spite. Raz, how do you respond to that?
Xenotech has
You're
made
muted.
Raz voice vanish.
And you're still muted.
Yes.
Speechless.
Yes, totally speechless. Machine melted.
Yes, yeah, it is absolutely melted into paste.
Really hard metal. I don't have any idea what this thing is.
Okay. Well then, Holly, lovely spouse, any ideas? Or Gronk put on special hat?
Perhaps I could check one of the robots, hack their mainframe to see exactly if we can get more information.
That's a good question. You can do that while Gronk explain.
So I believe I get advantage because I can hack any kind of cyborg robot
And
and
it's
whatnot.
dead just laying there in front of you. So you give me the roll while Gronk gets his special hat.
So
Gronk takes his hairpiece off.
Oh.
So, bear with Gronk. Based on legend, old AI left on planet. Old AI probably under Yellowstone. Old AI either wakes up and causes earthquake, or earthquake wakes up AI. AI goes right back into war mode because Gronk wake up like that sometimes. Go to sleep drunk and angry, wake up drunk and angry. It happened. And tries to set off guns. But guns been sitting there a long time. Before plankton on this planet time, according to Holly's wonderful help. So malevolent AI probably on the loose, using weapons, scattered all over Earth, blowing up satellites, drained power. Gronk head hurt. Puts back on headpiece. Immediately looks a little dumber.
gives him a sugar cookie immediately afterwards.
Okay.
Blood pressure is very low, honey. Also, I think it's time for your objections. So I say,
Are you in any way, shape, or form waiting for Gronk Doe? No? No, looking at the blank. No, okay, never mind. Waiting for Godot? No, not the hat reference. Sorry, it's a very famous scene. I thought maybe you were a theater major or an English major. Never mind. You have made an amazing character, and I love it. And apparently it is so good that you are even making references you didn't know you were making.
Gronk is Gronka of many talents.
Yes.
So, at that moment, as Gronk explains it and puts the hair back on, as if to prove a point, there's sort of a space-time bends starting just over the horizon here and going up into space. You see it warp gravity and twist the image as it heads out. And a few seconds later on the moon, there's a and a new crater surrounded by a slowly expanding dust ring. It's maybe half a kilometer to where that fired from.
Goddamn, I shot the moon. Gronk hooked his timeshare okay. Holly, we have that insured.
Holly, it's on the
Just a
dark
second,
side.
dear.
It's on the
No.
dark side. They can't hit that from here unless they're orbital. So you're fine.
Yes. It looks like the AI is causing problems. I bet we can make a lot of money if we get that.
Did I find anything else with the hacking I did?
With day 5, yes. At that, it's taken exactly this long. I said it in chat, but yeah, that whole speech by Gronk. You know the Star Wars Council meeting, the giant thing, and all that wild camera work that they did. I envisioned that on a slightly smaller scale, all around Gronk as he was doing this. So it pans away from that to find Holly on one knee, just putting the brain pan back on the back of one of these cyborgs. This meshes well with what you found already. What you find extra information is, yes, well, a couple things. These robots are AI robots. They are combat robots, which explains a couple things. They fought better than they searched. When they were trying to pull this thing apart and search it, they were all looking puppety. That's because they were having to be individually controlled by the AI. These are single-purpose bots that are designed to fight. It's like they sent soldier ants to do investigator ant job. It wasn't going well. You figured that out. You also figure out that the link is one-directional and essentially untraceable. By destroying these guards, you break the link. And the link can be voluntarily suspended from the other end. I'll give you that too for your success. So if you capture one, it can voluntarily be shut off from the other end.
Saying, like the AI?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah, the AI is controlling these robots to the point where they can shut them off.
I will tell my group that.
But they're also not truly sentient. They are very heavily programmed, but they are combat bots. Not...
I mean, obviously not very well if we were able to handle them, but...
I don't know. Have you seen you? I mean, you guys got a title and everything. Plausible deniability.
Yes.
10 deaths, and the one, the pessimistic one was right. They didn't get a turn. So I assume all of this happens as you are trudging towards the large letters in the sky that say next chapter.
Yes.
And you get there. You come over a little hill and look down in another one of these pits. This Xenotech gun is in place. It still functions. It looks like somebody took a spider web and did that with it, and then glass blew it, and then did another one inside, and another one inside that, and another one inside that, and like they're still doing it, and the whole thing is just sort of growing every time they add a layer. It's every time it goes up a layer, it shoots again. Goes up a layer, it shoots again. You can feel it also. Every time it goes up a layer, the ground shakes. That weird sound happens. But you can see something that the robots down in the pit can't. It's starting to tilt a little bit on its axis. And Gronk, you can see that battery on that one starting to get all red and swelly. It's gonna melt like the other ones did.
Liam, go now. He just picks up, he grabs Holly's orb, picks up Raz, turns around.
The residual starts going off, changing different genders. I hate it when you pick me out like this.
You put your thumb on the on the auto cycle button.
Honey, not here.
Okay, but he's gonna like try and find like a safe ridge or something to duck down behind, and
Dirty
just gonna
20
kind of like
gaming.
count down in his head.
Yeah.
5, 4.
Yep. Dirty 20 Gaming OnlyFans is on the other side of the small box that you're hiding behind. Do the other two...
3, 2.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. The other two, do you allow yourselves to be pulled in? Somebody's dying. And thank you. That is the best thank you. That is the best applause I can possibly get, is somebody laughing uncontrollably. Go. What are you doing?
Okay. I am complaining the entire time he's running with me. Why are you stop doing this? Stop.
But in the end, you are running to shelter, right?
Well, he said he tucked me under his arm like a football.
Well, I'm giving you. Yeah, that was his intent. I am giving you now some agency in how that plays out.
I will go with him reluctantly, and I'm going to, as soon as he finally stops and puts me down, I'm gonna put my hands on my hips and say, "What?"
But doing so in the safe shelter of the explosive-proof box. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Holly, you've seen this.
Nope,
Like,
I'm
this
still
is
complaining the same way.
It's like chapter
just-
2. Here we go. Yeah.
So
Every
like
day.
I'm being carried.
Yeah.
I'm just like, where are we going? What is going? Do you have to
Behind the box.
manhandle me?
Oh, Gronk. What comes after 3? Going down.
2
Yep.
single
Yes. Then.
dead.
Rock, robots, xenotech, flying in all directions. The one flies past you, the last one with a sparkle of life in their little robot eye and their mouth still working. He says, "We didn't even get a roll." And they're gone. You look where they were, and there's sort of this weird sparking plasma explosion made almost entirely of energy. And it slows down, and it's weird because plasma shouldn't slow down, but it's electricity, and it goes. You'd actually see the little lightning bolts getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And finally they melt out, leaving this crater. This one didn't melt like the last one. This one blew the hell up. And when it did, it left a crater. And in the bottom of that crater, there's a little broken doorway, a metal doorway. It looks like a spaceship doorway. This is the 34th century. This is the first thing that's looked like home since you got here. It's all been dirt and like no lights and no emergency exits or shit. But now finally something recognizable, a rectangular rounded corner metal door in a metal frame, knocked slightly askew, with moldy air wafting out from behind it.
Can the door be open?
Oh, it's already cracked.
Grunk's gonna grab like piece of robot if there's still one around, like
Yep.
limb or something, and just unless someone stopped Gronk.
Yeah, which one
Gronk
do
go
you
to
want?
door. Right arm.
Right arm, yes.
It
The,
just
the pistol drops out of it as you take it away.
guns. You can take it and just use it like a pry bar to try and get the door the rest of the way.
There's like
You stick the elbow in, and every
and then
time you
I-
pry, the fingers go.
I point at the door. The button says open, close.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you press open. Okay, smartass, give me a save.
Okay. What kind of save? What
I
kind
heard
of
the
save?
tone. I heard the tone.
What kind of save?
Roll. That is 1d6. Yes, unless
Okay.
you're somehow very, very dexterous. Do you have sneaky
No.
or anything? No, sneaky isn't going to help.
No, that wouldn't help.
Do you
I
have
have to find out.
evasion?
No, I will roll
one die.
disadvantage.
So it's disadvantage.
Oh, yeah. You you and you push the button, and you feel. You've been electrocuted before, and it sucked. So just in time, you kind of retract the finger, the hologram, right? You just disconnect that much of your finger, like a gecko splitting the tail, right? You just sort of bam, I'll grow that back later, and the finger still in the hole just gets nuked. You just watch as thousands of volts just, and it just disappears. You look down and watch yours go. And a little face appears on it against your will and turns and looks and turns back at you and raises an eyebrow and then goes blank.
Don't give me that look.
Liam really have to debug you later.
And you knew it.
But first, I'd make fun of Gronk for not pushing button.
And
Gronk's
then
stupid for prying.
And then one last time, Gronk, you heave and the fingers go. And the door pops open. So it must have been British. And you look down the tunnel. Because of the two of you doing that, I'm going to give Raz, as I break a pencil, I know it's a good night. Raz, I'm giving you first action. You look, this tunnel just descends into the ground. Again, this looks like city. This looks like home. It's a 5-foot wide, 10-foot tall metal tunnel. It just goes all the way to the end. There's no doors. Way down at the bottom, there's a single door set in the wall. Oh, like the real world. Oh, it's so clean. You can feel the smell. Even though the air is kind of moldy, you can smell it's recycled moldy.
Ah,
Like the mall.
the best.
Yeah, like the mall.
Yeah.
Like home. So I'm giving you the first action on the way in.
I am pulling my pistol.
Yep.
Of course I am. And I'm like going, hee. Give me a second. And I'm going to slide down the hall to see what's the end.
I'm just going to add, the
I'm
two of you.
slithering down the
Yes,
hallway.
you lizardly move into into this opening and beyond. As you do so, as you pass the other two and the camera, because this is the future, the camera can feel this. You're warm, just as you move past. And your salamander roots are showing quite literally. The bottom of the frilly bit at the back of your neck starting to get red. You're starting to generate heat. You head into the darkness. The other two standing on the surface. What do you do?
Gonna give Holly moment and then go after, or give Raz moment and then go after, because group fall apart without Grunk.
Yes. Okay. And Holly?
I will follow behind
Okay.
with my injector sword ready, at the ready.
Okay. So, Raz,
Do I?
you're
Do I?
first.
Is it dark in there?
No, no such silliness. No, you can see everything in this game because it's more fun that way. Especially is of all the scenes for you to ask me that, this is the one. Raz, you're at the start. You are a salamander-based life form. As you move forward, this perfectly normal hallway starts to sort of change. It starts to look like rock instead of steel, and it starts to get less rectangular and more sort of burrowy. And it looks like it's been melted, like a lava tube has come through here. And you can feel the sort of heat of home and the crash and all of that wonderful, marvelous, that feeling. I don't know if you miss it or not, but that feeling when there was 1,000,000 of you all in a big pile in a hole underground.
Yes.
Give me 1d6 save.
Oh, so that's disadvantage.
Just one die. Yep. Nope. You just all the only instructions I'm going to give you is a tiny quote of a song. You lose yourself in the moment. The true salamander comes out, the feral. This is it. It's mission time. It's time to rock and roll. You have to let the beast out. As you head down the hall, the world just gets smaller and smaller and tighter and tighter. At the end, just as you step up to it, it goes from being a mesh of knots, of roots at the end of a tunnel that you could easily chew your way or burn your way through, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's a door. Next down the hallway, we have Gronk. This should be fun. Save, please. 1d6. Or...
No, if it's a save, Gronk roll with advantage because resolute.
Oh, resolute. Perfect. Yes, thank you. 3 dice. Oh, this is perfect. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I liked it. Even in this, I'm going to play this in order. Like those are like plot notes. You step into the hallway, and at first you're kind of shocked because everything changes. You're back finally in this comfortable place, and then suddenly, it's the playground when you grew up, Gronk. And the other Gronks are bigger than you. And that brief period of time, I don't care how tough you were, for a brief period of time, you were on the wrong playground and you got your ass handed to you in front of all the cool Gronks. But then you looked up, and through the fence you saw your Mr. Miyagi, and he gave you a little bit of and you remembered your training, and you leapt up and you kicked the steaming, howling shit out of that big bad Gronk standing out there in the middle of the playground. He begged for mercy.
Yes, he did.
And when you turn to walk away from that, there's a cop looking at you like this, and you just raise an eyebrow. And that cop just smiles at you and turns around and walks away.
Every part of Gronk's life, awesome.
And at the edge of the playground, there's one of them nasty chain link doors and the chain link fence, and you get close to it, and just as you do, poof, it turns back into that metal door, and just between you and that door is Raz. Bringing up the rear, a hard light hologram. Why did I do this? I just decided to do this a minute ago. Now I realize I have to do a fantasy scene for a hard light hologram.
Do it.
Give me a save. One die, unless you can tell me why it's more. Or do you even want to try more than one?
Well, do I have an indication of danger?
Yes, everything is dangerous. Why? What ability were you thinking of?
Well, depending if it's like something I can hack or
Nope. I thought you had like a danger sense or something.
No.
I don't know. I don't look at my character sheets. It's way more fun this way.
No, that's
okay.
fine.
One die. Give me one die. Give me one time.
Did I hit it? Oh, that's not.
Holly Hardlight. I just decided that was your they used to call them maiden names. Yeah. Before you were married, you were Holly Hardlight. Now you're Holly Denway. So it was a step up. Yeah. Oh, I just realized. Yeah. Holly, you step in there and polarized light. The kryptonite of all hard light holograms. This can be used to cut you and slice you as if you weren't even there. This is like the brown note for holograms. If this light hits you, you cease to be in a horrible, messy, and may I say, poorly make-upped way. That's how bad this is. If this polarized light hits you, it will give you a makeover against your will. People have been trying to do that for 1,500 years. Since the 80s, the 1980s. That's what this light is threatening to do to you. You, being the genius. Oh, you tell me. I think I know how you do it. But do you have an idea of how you stop yourself from polarized light? I have two ideas now. Let me think.
Explain to me polarized light.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to answer you with both of my ideas. I'll give you a choice. Right. Polarized light can be stopped a couple of ways. One is with polarized sunglasses. Great big 1980s polarized sunglasses. The other thing you can do to get rid of any light source, as any good 80s girl knows, is use that tiny, horrible mirror in your compact. So there's two options. Come up with a third one, or use one of those.
So either reflect the light or like put the cool 80s shade on.
Yeah, this is surely a looks thing at this time. You've already succeeded. How does this work? Which one?
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna dance 80s style around the light.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
mercy.
So,
Break out the big hair too.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. The whole hair photography
in a burst
and
of hair.
everything.
Yeah. In a burst of hairspray and a sudden weird edit, you're now wearing the glasses. Nobody ever saw you put them on, but you're now wearing the glasses, and the music starts. Either Tom Hanks or the
Cyndi
guy,
Lauper.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, starts singing in the background. Oh, no, Tom Hanks slides through in his underwear while Cyndi Lauper starts singing in the background. There. Yes, the polarized light just. I can't compete with this, and just turns and leaves. I have.
Nice knowing you.
As Tom Cruise slides by, you have to sort of bend down. It's in the contract. You have to bend down so he feels taller as he slides by. You stand up to your full height to see the door and your two friends in front of you.
Every now and then, just gender swapping into like the male version and female version, just to make it look like like a cinematic like video, music video.
That encounter.
And unfortunately, your male version has bigger hair than your female version.
Oh yeah, well actually, have you seen the art? Technically, it would take a lot more spray. So you find gel, but I stopped because I was trying to remember a brand name. DAP. That was one of the very first. I was there in the 80s, you fucker. DAP. It was kind of a yellow, bubbly stuff, and it was gel, and it was DEP. Thank you. It was hideous, and yes, you could put glitter in it.
Yes, you could.
Awesome.
Anyway,
You'd never get that glitter out.
you never do.
No.
I still find glitter from the 80s. It's probably toxic. Anyway.
Yes, glitter hairspray. That was me.
With that, before we start doing secrets from the 80s that we don't want anybody to know about, and thank God video didn't exist, let's get back to these guys. You are at the door, on the door in small text that only you can see and tilted at an angle that none of the cameras can see. It says, "Final Encounter."
Ominous.
Okay.
We made it.
It turns out that characters aren't the only people that can break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Coming through from the other side.
Is this a Mel Brooks film?
I'll look around for
thank you.
save points.
Thank you. Oh man, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. As you say that, on the wall beside you, an inappropriate to the ambience big red button comes out that says save. It does that thing where it goes beep, 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 and then stops just before it ends. It says 100%, but it's still sitting there and sitting there and it's sitting and finally and it's gone. Yes. Progress saved. Not that it will do you any good. We'll forget the file. It's the 80s.
It is.
See that represents our insurance, honey.
It's video footage to be used in the lawsuit. Who opens the door?
I will try to hack the door open.
Is there a computer or anything? Like how? What
There's-
is door other than
Like
sign?
what
there
is
is
there?
now,
Is there?
Oh, okay.
Is there like?
There are 3 control panels, one for each of you. The one on the left-hand side, Holly starts to hack. Gronk, you ask next, so you see Holly doing the hacky thing over there. What do you do?
It's good to do the shave and the haircut.
I just knock on the door. Okay.
Yeah.
Dunk, 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 dunk. And Raz, that's kind of over your shoulder because you were there first and you acted last, so that kind of acted in reverse order, right?
Yes.
Holly's now here trying to hack the door. Then dunk, 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 dunk. I'm a target. What do you do? What do you do?
I am going to look up at the hand knocking on the door, look over at Holly hacking the door, and realize I am in the way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to reach down and smash my belt and activate my shield.
You are outlined. And what color is your shield?
My shield is glittery purple with little sparks.
So it's completely unnecessary little sparks. It's just for show. Right?
It's just
that lights up. That's a great image. So a camera that is in the center of an arena that I am about to describe, but we're going to start this arena shot with the 3 of you standing in the doorway. In the front is this smaller figure wrapped in purple sparkling force field. Just looking ready to kick the crap out of the world and everything else you've got. Right behind them, a behemoth in a toupee. and a whole bunch of menace just pouring into this room, acting like a frame to this sparkly little creature. And then off to one side, peeking around the suddenly open door, Holly, the hard light hologram. The head just sort of tips in from the side, and the fingers come around. The camera.
Oh, and they all have goatees, because that's how you know they're the evil ones.
Speaking of the evil ones, the camera pans around in the circular arena, showing thousands and thousands of interstellar nerds of questionable virginity staring in through plexiglass and chain link down into an arena. At one side, your door. On the opposite side, a door opens up and a robot rolls out. A gigantic robot, even bigger than Gronk, dressed like a baker and holding a gigantic pink frosted donut over one shoulder. It says on his chest in bold letters, "Big Boy." The main letters extra size, so BB from a distance. Out from behind each leg, two smaller robots, Tyrannax robots, roll out, one to each side. One of them says E, and one of them says G, like E, 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 G, E, E. They line up off to one side, so from a distance it says B, B, E, G. They wait for you to enter. The screaming of nerds can be heard from many galaxies.
Gronk had enough of this.
Yes.
Gronk's just gonna start stomping down.
As you stomp in, I need the three of you to roll initiative. They're gonna get an initiative. It's gonna be one, but we're going to please. So click your token and then use your character sheet to roll initiative.
By the way, I rolled 2 6s and a 5 with that hack.
I know, that's why the door popped open at the perfect time. I'm also going to give you, on top of that, with the 2 6s and a 5, you have, because you opened this door, you opened all the doors. Every door in this complex. So there is now access from you to where the robot came out of. There's access from you through the plexiglass walls into the audience. There's anywhere you can think to go in the next scene that you want to get. With those 2 6s and a 5, you will find a way to get there.
I clicked my token, but...
Oh, apparently, okay, that's my fail then. All right, I'll just add you. Not a problem.
Where's the
Gronk,
tokens?
add, and Holly, add, and Raz is up there. Okay, so okay, no problem. Maybe because I made your characters, never mind. So, Gronk, you had a 10. That's surprisingly good. You have to keep reminding yourself it's 2d6 so often it's a d20, right? Holly, you had a 6. Raz also had a 6, and I'm giving I'm just going to call them NPCs, and they get a 1. Just because it's a movie, and the good guys always, always, always get to go first in the movies.
Yes.
Descending. And with that, with that, it begins. The horrible theme music from a show from the 90s bursts it on in the background. Somebody with really, really like it's like the ultimate mullet dreadlock combination. It's really short in the top and the sides, and then from here back it's all in one ponytail, but the ponytail's entirely made out of dreads. That's legit. That's Craig. That's the host of Robot Wars. And you can hear him screaming in the distance. The fans are all staring down. First of the first. The timing says it all. Gronk, yeah, you've had enough. What do you do?
Gronk have had enough. Can Gronk make it to
Yes.
big robot?
Yeah.
Oh no, Gronk going for an encore. Gronk going to one of smaller robots right next to big robot.
All right.
With the intention of just picking up smaller robot and just thwacking
Okay. So you grab at E or G.
E would be right next to.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Have at it. You grab it with one hand. So yes, to grab a hold of it and thus do damage, thus treating it as its own one-handed weapon. Give me melee weapons, which I believe you are proficient with. So 2 dice,
Yep.
and then
Actually,
you have a thing, right?
nothing to give. Well, only if I wanted to use biomancing. Gronk isn't even reaching for the special pills
No.
right now. Gronk is just really annoyed.
These are just
and,
the EGs. Yeah.
yeah, and he's just gonna try and stuff the E directly into the treads for
okay.
BB. It's
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
grab it, just try
Gotcha.
and wedge it in there.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Okay, now this is because I did mention these are Tyrannosaur robots, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're wedge-shaped, as it turns out. Well done. Yes. Give us a roll. Oh, please be massively successful, even though it's only
This
2
is
dice.
my Rex French.
Actually, okay, I was just about to do a thing, but I'm going to do it anyway. We do a happy story keeper thing around here. You guys can't see this, but the chat just sees for a couple seconds a big thing of me, a wonderful drawing of me done by Thunderscape 7 of me going. And what that means is that you have earned a reroll. I'm going to give you a free. In other words, you got that regardless of what happens here, but you've already rolled a success. I'm going to let you roll again to see if you roll double sixes, just in case.
Okay.
Not part of the official rules. No, a 5. But you know what? Between the two of them, that's 2. So I'm going to do this. You grab... Yeah, this makes sense. You grab E, and you spin to drive it into BB, and it works. The Tyrannosaur gets its nose closed just in time, and you stuff it in, and the last thing you hear from it before its face gets crushed is as it gets smashed into the sort of the behind the apron of this big baker, and then yes, crushing its head, and from behind the baker's apron, you feel it opens its mouth and closes again, biting the baker, and you hear hey as it looks down above you, doing 1 damage to each of them. Just 2 hits. So yes. You want to move or anything? Because it's not a fit. Like that's only 1 attack. You've got another attack, is what I should say. Or you've got another action.
Is
Yes.
G in range?
G is also in range. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Gonna try to grab G and use G like a sledgehammer to drive E even further into the treads.
Yep. You have a reroll, but please roll massive successes.
I'm gonna use a reroll.
Yeah. Throw it. Oh, okay, perfect. You take that first swing, and you kind of hammer right into the side of your own foot, and it's but you're on TV. You've seen the cameras now. You realize this is a work of fiction, so you're fine, and you ignore the pain. You line it up for the second time, and right on the feet, the little T-Rex feet as they were trying to dig their way out, just bing, and you just watch it go up the spine, just dunk, 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 and you feel it bite inside the robot again. So you do 1 point to G, 1 point to E, and because this was so much fun, and you burned a reroll, 1 point to the BB as well. So it's like ow, ow, ow. Yes. Yeah, just enough time to go.
Are we on a map?
Nope.
Okay,
Absolutely not. Nope.
Okay, just double checking.
I can't map this. I make it up too fast. The answer to where am I is where do you want to be?
Okay. Well, first off, what do I see?
You see your husband wreaking havoc on 3 robots, and you look around and you see a billion intergalactic nerds with a new hero. Every door to everywhere is open to you.
Well,
As much damage as your fine partner in life has done, it is but a scratch on a scratch on a scratch compared to what it's going to take these guys out.
Let's see. And how many of them are robots?
All of them.
All of them?
That way you can smash the hell out of everything guilt-free. They may be sentient, but they're robots, so it's okay. Science fiction rules say so.
Can I try to
Yes.
hack again?
Yes.
I want to hack a robot to go on
Okay.
our side to help us.
Absolutely. This is going to be difficult. I'm going to impose. You got hacking as a skill, right?
Yes.
Okay. We are going to do a 3-step hacking system, which is an optional rule in this game. So, this is going to take 3 rolls for you to succeed, but this is how it works. There's 3 steps to it. You have to get through the firewall first of each one of these robots. You can do this all in one turn. Well, it only takes 2 to do this. But you can try to get through this firewall. You have to defeat it. It will be either, depending on how hard the firewall is, disadvantage test or advantage roll for you.
Right.
If you fail, there's a feedback rating that will do either 1, 2, or 3 points of damage to you.
I like that.
And then if you succeed, you will get, in this case, if you had time, you'd get control of it. But in this case, it's just like reach in and flip the switch and shut it off. You've got that if you get all the way to full, if you succeed the roll.
I'm trying to like make it like, I don't know, like kind of turn sides in a sense.
And nope, you haven't got time for
Nope.
that. You shut
Nah,
it
no,
off.
whatever.
You
Okay.
can basically use this as an attack. I don't like saying no, but
No, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
This is the like
I-
instance, right? So
Okay, I'm gonna roll with advantages on the first one.
that depends.
Okay.
You're gonna try and you hook up to the first one. You hook up to it and you realize this is a firewall 2, so this is going to take a test. You have 2 dice. Roll
Mhm.
a 5 or a 6 to succeed.
Roll
If
5
you
or 6.
fail, you take damage. If you succeed, you shut this thing down. But you have 2 actions, so you could focus. I know normally focus is only on combat. I don't care. I read part of the rules real fast. I will let you focus and roll. So you still only roll 2 dice, but they'll succeed on 4, 5s, or 6s.
Okay, so just do a test if I do focus.
Yeah. So
Is that
click
correct?
focus and then test.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Where's the focus? I know I saw it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and then test.
Yeah. You quickly. It's like you've seen this firewall before. This is easy. This is. This is Windows 11. It's easy to hack. It's been around for like 1,500 years. It's ridiculous.
Technology wise,
still
it am
have it.
dinosaur.
It's grammar's
Makes sense
worse
that it
than
would be in this
Gronk's.
dinosaur.
Yeah. Yes, you roll through this password and you get behind it, and there's just essentially like a big switch that just like an emergency shut off switch, and you just and pull back out, and that one drops. Which one was that?
I was gonna say the big two.
It's not going to work on the biggest one. The other two.
Oh,
I
no?
should have made that clear. So,
Okay. Then I guess
Yeah, minions only.
okay, I'll do it on one of the minions just to like, so it's less people to deal with.
G is being used as a hammer, and E is the wedge. Which one would you like to?
Oh, the hammer guy, yeah.
Okay, on to G. All right. So yeah, with that, the hammer in your hand quits writhing. That should make this easier.
Easier, but
Yeah.
less satisfying.
Well, you still got the one in there trying to scream with no head. Raz, they started the party without you. There's a fan club for both of the other ones already. There's somehow there's banners in the crowd already to both of them. This is it, your big moment. Nobody will recognize you from the wanted posters, I'm sure. What do you do?
So these are like little T-Rex robots,
Yep.
the little short arms.
Yep, one's being used as like a croquet mallet to drive a recalcitrant croquet ball through a mallet ring through a ring that's much too small.
Yes.
And that other one, that's the other one. Yeah.
I am going to go T-Rex riding.
Okay. Which
I'm
one?
going the big one. I'm going to go sit
oh,
on the big one's shoulder.
Oh, BB. That's actually it looks just like a human baker.
Oh, then
Yeah.
I will. Can I get on? Well, one of them's being a wedge, so I can't get on
So
him.
the baker is standing here. Underneath the baker's 1 foot is one of the T-Rex robots. That's E, and then G is being used as a hammer to drive E further under BB.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to run behind the baker and try and shoot him in the backside.
Go,
Excellent.
Ross, go.
2 shots or 1 focus shot?
2 shots.
Okay.
No focus this time.
Fire away. He's right there. I will give you. You're using your pistol, right?
I'm
your
shooting.
your mastery
Yes.
pistol. So 2 with advantage, please. Oh dear. We did talk about focus. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I cannot. I haven't
know.
rolled a 6 yet.
I know what happened. Your sparkle got in your own eyes, just as you were lining up the shot. You know those fancy bzz, 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 bzz that you paid extra for in the force field. Yeah, one of them went off
Yes.
right here, just as you were shooting. At least that's the story you're going to tell when this happens.
That's
in the bar
that's
later.
the
Yeah.
story I'm
Yeah,
telling
you,
everyone.
and you got sparkle dusted, and then you missed twice.
I
Between the
haven't
3 of
flipped
them,
my
there's-
coin. That's what
Between
it
the
is.
3 of them, there's 3 ones, which means it isn't a fail. I mean, it isn't a critical failure, but it just means I get to do this. Off in the distance, one of the 4 camera crews that's following you, the camera gets shot by one of these stray shots, falls over in the distance. One of the camera crews screams, "We're union. We get paid double now. Danger pay!" And then we cut back to the action. Raz, as you shake your finger to try and get your gun fixed. Finally, BB steps back. Creak. E stays where they are, head crushed on the ground. They're stuck, like their head is smashed into the ground so much they can't get their ass up. But they're going to stay where they are. BB takes a step back and sort of scrapes the remains of his foot off on G or on E. So scrapes E's guts out on E. And then, like some kind of rampaging Coast Guard maniac, they take the giant donut back in 2 hands and spin and throw it like a huge frisbee in a line, just because I want them to do something effective before they die that magically lines up all 3 of you in the shot. Yay, theater of the mind. So I need each of you to make a save. Yeah, 1 die unless you can tell me different. Yeah, except Gronk. Yeah.
So what is he doing specifically?
He is hurling a giant, dangerously frosted metal donut at you.
I have my shield up.
Yes, you do. So yeah.
I have no defensive thing, so
I
disadvantage.
am going to. Does that give me 2?
The shield does shieldy things. You look up that shield skill, and because of the way this works, I want Holly to roll first. 1 die,
Yeah,
Holly.
go ahead.
You got nothing special. This is just a save. Trust me, you fail miserably. You see it coming towards you at speed. One of the sprinkles is going right for your eye, and
my pixels.
It's yellow. No, it's yellow, and it does like with the yellow, with the pink and the purple. It's like it's gonna clash so bad, sticking out of your eye. But luckily, Raz, you have a thing. You have a shield thing. What does that shield thing do?
My shield thing says I've got you covered. It
Yes.
gives me while wielding the shield, I get to test it 2d6 on evasion actions.
Yes. So, I am going to expand that. I'm giving you the free success because the only danger here is 1 tiny sparkle. You lash out with your hand, and the sparkle lashes down your arm and sits in your palm, waiting fiercely for that little yellow particle of that's trying to get on your new friend or your longtime friend. Give me 2d6 to catch the sparkle and prevent clashing. Bam! It hits your hand, and it just turns for a moment. It doesn't stop. It just turns purple, and then goes through your hand and out the back, and sticks in Holly's eye. No damage, but at least, although there is a big sparkle sticking out of your eye, at least it doesn't clash, and therefore it doesn't do any real damage.
This isn't this is not the sparkle I wanted in my eyes.
I'm glad you got it. It was closer, and at least it was a sparkle.
All this is going on, and Gronk is just like, Gronk has good analogy.
E and G are going to lash out at Gronk because they're robots.
Isn't
so,
E like still caught in ground?
Yes. So he's if I was going to roll the attacks, that this would be bad for them. But instead, I'm going to let you basically roll evasions, and I'm going to give you advantage on the one against E because he's just like basically death throws. Just this little. I say T-Rex, but in my head he's like a metal rat at this point, and just the little back feet kicking in the dark.
Yep. Okay, so for E with
Yeah.
advantage.
Yep. Oh. Okay, I know how that's going to work. Roll me the other one too, but just regular. Okay, yeah. So you leap out of the way of, which is weird because G is dead. So yeah, you evaded the wrong one, Gronk. Oh, sometimes you think too much. That's the problem. But
Gronk's brain just keeps going
Yeah.
all day, all night.
yeah, you hurled the dead G aside, thus avoiding the attack from the one that was no longer alive. The other one weirdly just backs up your leg. Like just those, I told you those little back feet were spinning. It just right up your leg, almost to the knee. The tail is sort of slapping around your hip region. No damage, but maybe I don't know if Gronk feels shame, but maybe Gronk's mom might feel shame when she watches this on TV.
Gronk's mom wanted Gronk to be a mercenary like rest of Gronk's family.
Oh, and here he is on TV. Oh no.
Yep.
Well,
Jill doesn't send Christmas cards.
you better win. And I didn't even know this was a TV show when we started.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Gronk, you're next. It's time to make up for the infamy, if you knew that word.
Gronk no influence.
There's-
All right.
He's got like just the E is done, right? He's just you just have to throw him to the ground. So I throw him to the ground, and you do so and smash him to bits. The only thing left is the big bakery boy, big boy.
Gronk going to no, that's silly.
No, don't ever let that stop you.
Okay. Gronk going to attempt if he can one hand. Well, no, because can Gronk get donut? Gronk wants to grab the donut one-handed.
Oh, timely thought. The donut is shattered, but strangely it was filled with gigantic carbon fibered tortillas. Suitable for slap fight.
Well, Gronk was never one to back down from a slap fight. Gronk grab tortilla and just going however far up he can reach. He's gonna try and nail this guy right in the metal sack.
Okay.
Just going straight for the old Robo Grundle.
Somehow the two of you have mouthfuls of water and giant carbon fiber tortillas to slap each other with. You go first. Give me. It's one-handed. You are proficient. How much? Hang on. Before you do that, how much does Gronk eat? Does Gronk eat lots? Like lots and lots?
Yeah, Gronk is
So
a big guy.
yeah, Gronk is probably proficient in tortilla.
Gronk is proficient in tortilla with
Mastery?
master of tortilla.
Yeah.
Yep, with a specialty in burrito.
Ah, okay. In that case, as you settle into the proper burrito fighting stance, the injector system built into your uniform squirts burning hot salsa onto the tortilla before the slapping action, giving you advantage. Go ahead and slap the baker with a Tabasco-soaked carbon fiber tortilla in a duel.
That was supposed to be saline. It's good I was not operating on anyone.
That could explain all kinds of things. Yes. So with advantage, twice if you want. You got two actions. Yep. Give me a second when I want to paint the picture. 2 4s adds up to an 8. That's an amazing success. Yes. You. They do the slow-mo boxing thing. The head goes sideways, and the salsa sauce goes. They add the sound effects live because it's the 34th century and they can do that. You come back the other way. Your baker, knowing good cinema when he sees it, adjusts his face, a la Clint Eastwood, lift your chin in that movie. And you catch him on the way back with the side that's still fully salsa'd up. Once again. The baker comes back. It looks like badly applied rouge, and it starts to burn because he's made out of pastry, and Tabasco does horrible things to pastry. It starts to burn and melt his face. The donut long lost in the corner. Holly, what do you do? The minions are gone. They're dead.
Okay, so
There's nothing
we got
left but your ferocious beast of a partner and still well over half of a big boy.
Okay. I will take out the injector and I will run the anime kind of Kyle style Naruto way.
With the injector flying out behind you and those flashing
And then
lines.
just over my husband's shoulder onto his back and then just try to plunge it right
they do
into
the
the creek.
unnecessarily long series of
Yeah,
freeze
yeah.
frames.
Because of course I'm a hologram, everything has
Yeah.
to look picture
Oh, yeah.
perfect. So
Absolutely.
And Gronk will totally lean forward a little bit just to give like the perfect running platform.
You realize you're kind of messed up your blocking. Over the top.
Thing
You
is-
better follow that up with some success. Give me 3 dice.
Oh
It's
my
that time of
God.
the night.
Okay,
It's
so
that time of the
two-
night. It's 3 dice.
2 hits,
time.
right?
Give me 3. Roll with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. Finally, bam! The tip of the injector drives into Doughboy, and you inject who knows what through the apron.
Time for your medication.
Right through the name tag. You see it hit, but then you look at their eyes and they're a baker. They've had to get up in the middle of the night before. When it comes to drugs, they're pretty resistant.
Him am cream filled now.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Can
no.
I skip dishes donuts after that? Is this justifiable? Probably not. Anyway. Next, that's Holly. Raz, what are you doing?
Well, since the front is kind of covered with
Yep.
Holly doing
Oh,
her,
and custard. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm going to do a running slide over to the side, pull my pistol, and shoot at him at the side.
All right. From
gonna
inside
throw some-
E, one eye opens up and goes, "No, I'm really dead. I just think that's really cool." As you slide by, and then they die again. You skid to a stop behind them, reach up and fire away twice if you want with advantage.
Yeah. I'll do twice.
This time you make a little like periscope appear in your shield, so there's no sparkles.
No sparkles.
There you
No
go.
sparkles.
Now you're blessed. Now you're blessed. There you go. See how well that worked. Oops.
Did it once.
Reroll that second one. Reroll the second one. It's that time of the night.
Nope.
Reroll it again. The entire
Doesn't
crew
like
will wait. There we
There
go.
we go.
So the way
It did not like me.
So-
Seventh
this one-
time the charm.
you snap into the shot. They're doing that sort of dramatically lit from the front barrel down your own gun barrel shot. You get the first one perfect. You come in. The second one you come in and they've only got your left ear. Cut. Third one you come in, it's just your forehead and part of your eye. Cut. The fourth one, it's perfect again. It's like, what a pro. Twice. The other end of it, completely unaware they're in a movie, and then waits for it, and waits for it, and waits for it. Each hole, raspberry filling pouring out of them. You said it, made it real. The face melting from the Tabasco. The hat falls off, revealing a powdered donut skull. They're starting to show signs of weakness. They've got one more action. They reach down, put one hand, you think first on each hip, and they slide them up. One hand on each side of their robust personage. And in an action faster than you can imagine, they squeeze.
Oh.
Chocolate icing, bits of dough, but more than anything else, fountains and fountains of strawberry filling, exploding in all directions. Everybody give me a save. One
think I
die
forget-
unless you can tell me otherwise. Oh, Gronk fail. Raz fail. Okay? This is okay. Of all the times to fail, this is perfect. Holly fail. Oh, yes. There's just a hideous red explosion. The ratings officer have to watch it 72 times to confirm it's not blood, but it isn't. It's jam. It's jello. There's even parts of it that are marmalade. There's even parts of it that are the three of you flying away at speed and only skidding to a stop when you get to the edge of the arena. You look up and the entire inside of this bubble is covered in red jam. It starts to come off in globs. Just
I kind of imagined it in slow motion as the song do 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 do.
As it falls away, you see on the other side of the glass millions of nerds licking the glass trying to get to the jam. As it finally all falls away, the three of you covered and possibly perpetually smelling of raspberries.
I'm gonna go. I'll never have fondue again.
Oh, this is just like our first date.
And
Yeah, I
in the-
remember that.
And in the distance, the credits of some strange show you didn't originally know you were on start to roll, and none of it makes sense. But somehow you won, and somehow we left the plot at page 3 of 7. I stopped turning pages. I love it. That was so much fun. Team plausible deniability. Stinking of compote and success. You are marched back through town in your hometowns, famous for all time, for the good and the infamy and the infamy and the fame, and some of that's good and some of that's bad when you're a detective, and some of it goes over everybody's head.
And the jam.
But everywhere you go, sometimes, like glitter, for the rest of your lives, you find raspberry jam.
For life.
Much later in life. I want to do this this is where we drop this curtain, but then it goes back up, and as an encore, much later, many years later, like grandparent age later, the three of you have just each together told the story to the room full of offspring and offspring and offspring's offspring and all of that, just like every year. It's Christmas. I mean, every year they let you tell the story. But what, as you do so, what's the part you remember? What's the part you make sure the grandkids get, and feel free to embellish as you wish? Let's start with Gronk.
The part that really stick with Gronk through all of this, the part that informed rest of Gronk's life, is that you can't trust anyone with weird names.
That is good advice.
And if you don't believe Gronk, he takes the hairpiece off and there's jam. There's jam on his head.
Using jam to hold down the hairpiece. This team has a name, so you guys get to come back. Please be available so we can bring you all back and do this again. This was so much fun. But that's Gronk. Holly. All that time later, what? There's always that group of there's that group of dark kids. In every family, there's the little emos. What do you make sure they remember out of this?
Little emos.
Yeah, the ones that are going to grow up to be big emos, the cool kids.
Well, always stay stylish and always have an umbrella, because you never know when you're going to get jammed.
And as you do it completely against your will, a purple sparkle appears and disappears a couple times in your eye. Just
I hit the little spear thing.
yeah.
Still gonna get that fixed.
And
No amount of
Raz.
hacking is gonna fix this. Okay,
Yeah.
I've tried.
Raz.
Yes. Little ones, make sure that you always stretch well. Your guns are always clean, because trust me, raspberry is really hard to get out of a gun.
Worse than glitter. We learned.
And make sure your shields are extra sparkly.
And you look down expecting a wonderful response to that, and you see that they're playing the EG game, where they've taken the youngest member of your family and jammed their head under the couch, and they're using the second youngest member of a family as a hammer, trying to drive them further under the couch. So we will drop the curtain on the game for sure as the three of you leap to stop that from happening, because you should have seen it coming. Oh.
Every
And
year.
that's where we dropped. Somehow that felt like a Christmas episode. Somehow in my head, when I said we dropped the curtains, it was red with white fringe on the bottom and bells on it. That was wildly Christmatic. And I think I just made up a word. Oh,
The only thing I regret is that I didn't seize the opportunity to make a Spaceballs joke when we got jammed.
well, it got made, and you guys are all, as I said, invited back for part 2. You guys are an unstoppable team. So yes, absolutely. But for now, we will drop the curtain on tonight, and thank you. We left the plot long behind, and this was way better than what I had written. So yeah. So
Stay tuned for part 2.
thank you so much, Lesimax. I appreciate it so much. I love this character. A little bit cranky, a little bit a lot of things, and a whole lot wifey, and I appreciated it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Leah, thank you for this. I thought for a second at the start you were going to try and be an adult, and then you proved me wrong. So thank you. For Raz. That was wonderful. And one final shout out to the artist as well. If that was them that we heard laughing in the background, extra bonus points.
No, that was actually Blaze of Gloriosa.
Oh, okay.
That's my wife.
Oh,
We were in
wow,
the
even
same
better.
group.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome too. So yes, thank you, Leah, and yes, please come back and play more. It's always fun. You always bring these characters. They all kind of look similar from a distance until you get close, and then they're not. And that's my favorite kind. So thank you. And that brings us to our new player again. I do this speech every time there's a new player, and I don't care how much experience you got doing streams and other stuff. You come to a new group of people and do a new style of game with a new system and a new GM and all that stuff. Takes a level of bravery, especially when you made that connection, however indirectly, through Twitter. So thank you so much for following in the footsteps of another brave person whose laughter we heard this evening. I'm very glad that there was a response and that we got a 2-for-1 out of that response. So thank you both, as I've got you here, very much, and I hope you're ready to come back and play with us again.
Oh yeah.
Any time.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
It's good to hear. And that, we're going to have to do the rest of this while you hear the slapping sound of my ego being patted over here. But thank you all so much. I'm going to take a second before I do the 2 final thank yous. They're still getting done, but I often forget to do this. Tomorrow night, we have got the second part, the ending of the Interstellar... the amazing, God, I never get it right, the amazing intergalactic survivor space race season 1. There has been one elimination. Unfortunately, that elimination was laughing in the background tonight, and I'm just like super guilty. But I better get used to it, because I'm taking out 4 of them tomorrow. The final round, the first season ends tomorrow. We go from 5 to 4 to 3, and then from 3 to 1 first-year champion. And then we're going to do special stuff on Saturday night that I'm not going to announce yet, but tease. Special stuff. Watch the channels on Discord. Speaking of the Discord, I forgot to do it at the start. Thunderscape, would you please, while I keep talking? Thank you. Which brings us to the chat, stream chat. You guys were great tonight. Saw some lots of regulars and lots of folks that are, while they are still regular, sometimes we see you when we don't. There's the Discord. Thank you to everybody in chat and all of you that are there that aren't already a member, which I suspect is none of you that aren't already members. But if you aren't, click that Discord, one of the most supportive places on the internet. It is amazing. It is everything I could dream that could be and more, because it's not any one person, it's a whole bunch of people giving a damn about every single member of that group, and it makes it a very, very special place that I'm very proud to be part of. Final thank you to YouTube. If you listened all the way to here, please hit the like button, because I'm going to assume you did, or you got a weird hate thing going, in which case hit the dislike button, because apparently it doesn't matter. It all counts as interaction. With that, all that is left is honestly my favorite part. This was all gaming, this was all fun. We got to go back to the real world now, but until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.